Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. This morning we'll be in Genesis chapter 24, verse 52, through chapter 26, verse 16. When Abraham's servant heard their words, he bowed down to the ground before the Lord. Then he brought out gold, silver jewelry, and clothing, and gave them to Rebekah. He also gave valuable gifts to her brother and to her mother. After this, he and the men who were with him ate a meal and stayed there overnight. When they got up in the morning, he said, "Let me leave now, so I can return to my master." But Rebekah's brother and her mother replied, "Let the girl stay with us a few more days, perhaps 10, then she can go." But he said to them, "Don't detain me. The Lord has granted me success on my journey. Let me leave now, so I may return to my master." Then they said, "We'll call the girl and find out what she wants to do." So they called Rebekah and asked her, "Do you want to go with this man?" She replied, "I want to go." So they sent their sister Rebekah on her way, accompanied by her female attendant, with Abraham's servant and his men. They blessed Rebekah with these words, "Our sister, may you become the mother of thousands, of 10,000s. May your descendants possess the strongholds of their enemies." Then Rebekah and her female servants mounted the camel and rode away with the man. So Abraham's servant took Rebekah and left. Now Isaac came from Beer-lahai-roi, for he was living in the Negev. He went out to relax in the field in the early evening. Then he looked up and saw that there were camels approaching. Rebekah looked up and saw Isaac. She got down from her camel and asked Abraham's servant, "Who is the man walking in the field toward us?" "That is my master," the servant replied. So she took her veil and covered herself. The servant told Isaac everything that had happened. Then Isaac brought Rebekah into his mother Sarah's tent. He took her as his wife and loved her. So Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Abraham had taken another wife named Keturah. She bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan became the father of Sheba and Dedan. The descendants of Dedan were the Asherites, Letushites, and Laamites. The sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldah. All these were descendants of Keturah. Everything he owned Abraham left to his son Isaac. But while he was still alive, Abraham gave gifts to the sons of his concubines and sent them off to the east, away from his son Isaac. Abraham lived a total of 175 years. Then Abraham breathed his last and died at a good old age, an old man who had lived a full life. He joined his ancestors. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah near Mamre, in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar, the Hethite. This was the field Abraham had purchased from the sons of Heth. There Abraham was buried with his wife Sarah. After Abraham's death, God blessed his son Isaac. Isaac lived near Beer-lahai-roi. This is the account of Abraham's son Ishmael, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's servant, bore to Abraham. These are the names of Ishmael's sons, by their names according to their records: Nebaioth, Ishmael's firstborn; Kedar, Abdiel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jeter, Naphish, and Kedemah. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their settlements and their camps. 12 princes according to their clans. Ishmael lived a total of 137 years. He breathed his last and died. Then he joined his ancestors. His descendants settled from Havilah to Shur, which runs next to Egypt, all the way to Asher. They settled away from all of their relatives. This is the account of Isaac, the son of Abraham. Abraham became the father of Isaac. When Isaac was 40 years old, he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel the Aramean, from Paddan Aram, and sister of Laban the Aramean. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife, because she was childless. The Lord answered his prayer, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant. But the children struggled inside her, and she said, "If it is going to be like this, I'm not sure I wanted to be pregnant." So she asked the Lord, and the Lord said to her, "2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples will be separated from within you. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger." When the time came for Rebekah to give birth, there were twins in her womb. The first came out reddish all over, like a hairy garment, so they named him Esau. When his brother came out, with his hand clutching Esau's heel. They named him Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when they were born. When the boys grew up, Esau became a skilled hunter, a man of the open fields, but Jacob was an even-tempered man, living in tents. Isaac loved Esau because he had a taste for fresh game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Now Jacob cooked some stew, and when Esau came in from the open fields, he was famished. So Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me some of that red stuff. Yes, this red stuff, because I'm starving." That is why he was also called Edom. But Jacob replied, "First sell me your birthright." "Look," said Esau, "I'm about to die. What use is the birthright to me?" But Jacob said, "Swear an oath to me now." So Esau swore an oath to him, and sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and lentil stew. Esau ate and drank, then got up and went out. So Esau despised his birthright. There was a famine in the land, subsequent to the earlier famine that occurred in the days of Abraham. Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, at Gerar. The Lord appeared to Isaac and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Settle down in the land that I will point out to you. Stay in this land. Then I will be with you and will bless you. For I will give you all these lands to you and to your descendants, and I will fulfill the solemn promise I made to your father Abraham. I will multiply your descendants, so they will be as numerous as the stars in the sky, and I will give them all of these lands. All the nations of the earth will pronounce blessings on one another, using the name of your descendants. All this will come to pass because Abraham obeyed me and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws." So Isaac settled in Gerar. When the men of the place asked him about his wife, he replied, "She is my sister." He was afraid to say, "She is my wife," for he thought to himself, "The men of this place will kill me to get Rebekah because she is very beautiful." After Isaac had been there a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, happened to look out a window and observed Isaac caressing his wife Rebekah. So Abimelech summoned Isaac and said, "She is really your wife. Why did you say she is my sister?" Isaac replied, "Because I thought someone might kill me to get her." Then Abimelech exclaimed, "What in the world have you done to us? One of the men might easily have had sexual relations with your wife, and you would have brought guilt on us." So Abimelech commanded all the people, "Whoever touches this man or his wife will surely be put to death." When Isaac planted in that land, he reaped in the same year 100 times what he had sown, because the Lord blessed him. The man became wealthy. His influence continued to grow until he became very prominent. He had so many sheep and cattle and such a great household of servants that the Philistines became jealous of him. So the Philistines took dirt and filled up all the wells that his father's servants had dug, back in the days of his father Abraham. Then Abimelech said to Isaac, "Leave us and go elsewhere, for you have become much more powerful than we are." Okay. So you have Abraham's servant getting Rebekah and coming back to Isaac with Rebekah. Then you have Abraham's death after listing out a few more of his descendants from his concubines. And then you have the descendants of Ishmael, and then Isaac's sons, Jacob and Esau, who one of the stories recorded regarding them is that Esau was hunting out in the field and then came in and was hungry, and Jacob was cooking some stuff, and he's like, "Feed me some of that red stuff." It's like, "Sell me your birthright." Okay. And he sold him his birthright over a pot of soup. And then you have Isaac moving about the land, similar to how Abraham did in the past, and even calling back to the time of Abraham in 26:1, subsequent to the earlier famine that occurred in the days of Abraham. And like Abraham, Isaac commits the same sin of, not not trusting God for his protection and calling his wife his sister. So, and this is after God's immediate promise to Isaac that says, like, I will multiply your descendants, so they will be as numerous as the stars in the sky, and I will give them all these lands. All the nations of the earth will pronounce blessings on one another, using the name of your descendants. That is, and I don't think Isaac had children at this point in time. And he thought to himself in 26:7, the men of the place will kill me to get Rebekah, because she is very beautiful. So how would he be able to have descendants if he's dead? So he didn't trust the Lord for his promise. Yeah. Don't have a whole lot else to say on that. So carrying on, Matthew chapter 8, verse 18 through verse 34. Now, when Jesus saw a large crowd around him, he gave orders to go to the other side of the lake. Then an expert in the law came to him and said, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. Jesus said to him, Foxes have dens, and the birds in the sky have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. Another of the disciples said to him, Lord, let me first go and bury my father. But Jesus said to him, Follow me, and let the dead bury their own dead. And he got into the boat. His disciples followed him. And a great storm developed on the sea, so that the waves began to swamp the boat. But he was asleep. So they came and woke him up, saying, Lord, save us, we are about to die. But he said to them, Why are you cowardly, you people of little faith? Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the sea, and it was dead calm. And the men were amazed and said, What sort of person is this? Even the winds and the sea obey him. When he came to the other side, to the region of the Gadarenes, 2 demon-possessed men coming from the tombs met him. They were extremely violent, so that no one was able to pass by that way. They cried out, Son of God, leave us alone. Have you come here to torment us before the time? A large herd of pigs was feeding some distance from them. Then the demons begged him, If you drive us out, send us into the herd of pigs. And he said, Go. So they came out and went into the pigs, and the herd rushed down the steep slope into the lake and drowned in the water. The herdsmen ran off, went into the town, and told everything that had happened to the demon-possessed men. Then the entire town came out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they begged him to leave the region. Yeah. So you have at the start here, in 8:19, an expert in the law came to him and said, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. And Jesus replied to him, Foxes have dens, and the birds in the sky have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. It's not for fame and fortune that Jesus was preaching this good news to people. But yeah, so this expert in the law couldn't expect a good livelihood, no, a life of luxury following some mega pastor. And also another of the disciples said to him, Lord, let me first go and bury my father. The idea being that his father was still alive, and that he wanted to go and live out the rest of his father's days in his father's household. But Jesus said to him, Follow me, and let the dead bury their own dead. That is, to come with him and not choose his family over Jesus. Then you have Jesus calming the storm, which was significant because not only for the miraculous display of power, but also in the fact that Moses, through God, parted the Red Sea and exhibited control over the sea. And Jesus here also controls the sea. And it was certainly eye-opening for the disciples, who said, what sort of person is this? Even the winds and the sea obey him. And then you have the account of the demon-possessed men coming from the tombs in the Gadarenes, who Jesus cast out demons into the pigs over. Which I think Matthew has the second-hand account here. Yeah, because Mark offers a lot more details concerning the demon-possessed man. And finally, well, carrying on, I guess, Psalm chapter 10, verses 1 through 15. Why, Lord, do you stand far off? Why do you pay no attention during times of trouble? The wicked arrogantly chase the oppressed. The oppressed are trapped by the schemes the wicked have dreamed up. Yes, the wicked man boasts because he gets what he wants. The one who robs others curses and rejects the Lord. The wicked man is so arrogant, he always thinks, God won't hold me accountable. He doesn't care. He is secure at all times. He has no regard for your commands. He disdains all his enemies. He says to himself, I will never be upended, because I experience no calamity. His mouth is full of curses and deceptive, harmful words. His tongue injures and destroys. He waits in ambush near the villages. In hidden places he kills the innocent. His eyes look for some unfortunate victim. He lies in ambush in a hidden place, like a lion in a thicket. He lies in ambush, waiting to catch the oppressed. He catches the oppressed by pulling in his net. His victims are crushed and beaten down. They are trapped in his sturdy nets. He says to himself, God overlooks it. He does not pay attention. He never notices. Rise up, Lord. O God, strike him down. Do not forget the oppressed. Why does the wicked man reject God? He says to himself, you will not hold me accountable. You have taken notice, for you always see the one who inflicts pain and suffering. The unfortunate victim entrusts his cause to you. You deliver the fatherless. Break the arm of the wicked and evil man. Hold him accountable for his wicked deeds, which he thought you would not discover. Yeah, and how does the wicked man not, I guess, justify his actions? He says that God doesn't notice and that he won't hold him accountable. He does not pay attention. He never notices. And the psalmist counters by saying, rise up, Lord, God, strike him down. Do not forget the oppressed. Yeah. So God does notice. And in the end, there will be a reckoning for everyone. And finally, Proverbs chapter 3, verses 7 and 8. Do not be wise in your own estimation. Fear the Lord, and turn away from evil. This will bring healing to your body and refreshment to your inner self. Yeah. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you have a great day. Bye.